Hey guys, it's Gianna.
Hi guys, it's Sophie.
And today we're on the Glow and Grow podcast. And our topic today we're going to be talking about is drama.
Why it happens.
How to avoid it.
And why staying out of it is a power move.
So first we're going to start off with giving you guys examples and kind of giving you guys our own stories.
And how to apply that to your own life.
So during school is definitely a time where drama basically almost feels necessary. Like everywhere you look, there is drama all around you. Drama happening literally everywhere. And at some points it can feel almost unavoidable. But we're kind of here to share with you guys and help you guys understand that it is completely unavoidable and everything is in your own hands. You have all of the power as long as you make sure that you know that.
One thing I've learned is that silence is better than clearing your name in drama. Sometimes keeping your mouth closed and just not even engaging in what people have said about you, what you've heard, is the best thing you could do. That is a power move. There was so much drama happening in my high school over the dumbest stuff, and drama most of the time is always over the dumbest things ever.
It's always over literally the smallest things ever, and sometimes it feels like a high, you have to engage, you have to clear your name, and it's so aggravating because it mainly stems from the people that are insecure about themselves, so they want to take their insecurities out on you. They're literally projecting, so I want you guys to know that it is never a you problem. The people that are starting the drama for absolutely no reason most of the time, it's usually over absolutely nothing.
And it's most of the time rumors.
It's
and
most
stuff
of the time
they made up in their head about.
And then it, guys, the rumors, it'll be one little thing, and then it'll spread across the entire school, and I'm there were so many times that I walked into school and everyone's like, oh, why did you do that? And I'm like,
what? That never even happened.
What? That never even happened? What? It just doesn't make sense half of the time, and it can definitely take a toll on a lot of people's mental health, because there were a lot of times in school that it felt like I was in the mix of drama 24/7 for absolutely no reason, and I just felt the need to constantly clear my name because I wanted people to know that this is not the type of person that I was with these rumors that were being spread. But I slowly started to learn that clearing your name will just make things worse, because it'll make people speculate more, because when you firstly go to engage in these things, it kind of brings the sense of oh, she was quick to speak on it, so obviously it was true. She's getting very defensive, and no matter what you say, people will have something to say. So the more that you say, the more that you're giving them against you. The more that people know about you, the more they have against you. So make sure to keep your friends close but your enemies closer.
Wow. Okay, she just said everything all for me. But yeah, honestly, the best thing to do is to stay silent and not engage. And if you have friends that are constantly talking about other people and gossiping, they are not your real friends, because most of the time they're gonna do that behind your back and talk about you. So what I've learned is to literally just be I don't want to engage in this conversation of gossiping. I care about you, but I don't like to do any of this. And yeah,
it's definitely a situation where it's if your friends are always constantly talking about other people, or quote unquote people they call their friends, what makes you think that they're not doing it about you?
Exactly.
And that's a hard pill that I had to swallow, because I had a bunch of friends that were constantly gossiping about other people, and I'd just sit there and I'd be oh wow, blah blah blah. But then I then found out that they were also doing the same exact thing to me, which I never thought they would do. The sweetest people, I'm I think these people are genuine friends, but they would constantly talk about other people. And I'm no, they would never do that to me, guys. Never say never.
They did.
Never say never.
Yeah, literally, people who are always projecting their insecurities and talking about other people, they're most of the time doing it behind your back too. So never trust those people, I want to say. But
and at this point, I feel it's more of a mental mind game, because all of us, again, it kind of feels like a high, I need to clear my name, I need to engage, and in order to have friends, I need to engage in this drama. And that is one thing. A lot of girls tend to bond over talking about other people, and unfortunately, it's just kind of human nature. But the best thing that you can do to make yourself mentally and physically more powerful is to stay out of these situations.
And stay silent.
Exactly. And if you see somebody, or you see a group of people, especially your friends, gossiping about other people, the best thing that you can do to make yourself mentally and physically look more powerful is to say, hey guys, maybe we shouldn't say that, or hey, they're not here to defend themselves, so let's keep this conversation to a minimum, and let's stop talking about people negatively unless they are here to defend themselves. Because I feel it's just a situation in this world where it's just not right to talk about somebody unless they are physically there to defend themselves. In most of the cases, if they are there to defend themselves, you guys will all end up friends, because everything will be cleared up and the rumors won't end up rumors anymore. The drama will be all squashed, because they're there to defend themselves, and most most of the time the things
The
that
drama
everyone
is not even
like
drama.
yeah, the gossip, like the gossip that everyone is like talking about usually is never true. Like it's high school, and unfortunately even teachers get into drama. Guys, during my high school and middle school years, I was like, I moved from Florida to Virginia and then to a different part of Virginia, and I was kind of moving to schools constantly, and I felt like I had to engage in this stuff, and I kind of had to agree with everybody in order to fit in and in order to be liked. But in reality, though, every single time that I would engage in these things during middle school, during high school, kind of, feel like I had to be in the drama just to fit in, those people ended up not being my real friends anyway. So if you feel the need that you have to gossip about people or you have to engage in drama just to be liked and just to fit in with a group, then they are not your friends. And unfortunately, that is definitely a hard pill that you have to swallow, because when it's easier said than done. When you're in those situations, like every single person, not a single person in this world has never gossiped about somebody. Not a single person has never said anything bad about somebody else. And that's a little understandable, but that's what we're here for, to kind of, we've all changed our mindsets, we've all grown as people, and we kind of just want to share with you guys and try to make the world just a little bit of a better place, kind of expressing how we navigated these things and how to go about them. And it's definitely a very touchy subject, because again, like, nobody is perfect. Everyone's gossiped before. None of us are perfect. Like, we are all far from perfect guys, but we are all perfect in each other's eyes, and so are you guys. And it's just like this drama stuff is crazy. There was so many times in high school where I was just dragged straight into drama.
Really?
And yeah, I was always dragged straight into drama, especially when I started social media. It was a new rumor made about me every day, to the point where every single time that I went into school, I had absolutely no friends anymore, and I distanced myself from everybody, which caused more rumors. And the entire school rumored that I thought I was better than anyone else, which was actually the complete opposite. I thought that I was lower than anyone else. Like, I had no friends, I had no one to talk to, and it was definitely a healthy feeling, but it was also a really sad feeling, because I would walk into school all the time, and I was like, oh, like, I'm in my first period, everyone's talking, and I'm sitting here all by myself. And I would always try to like make friends, but it was always like making friends over gossiping, and I just didn't want to engage in that anymore. And after growing mentally and physically, it's like these things are just, it's not cool. Talking about other people are not cool. It does not make you look cool, no matter how cool it looks in the moment. It is not cool, and unfortunately it is trashy, and I have been there. I have gossiped about people before in my past as well, and it's just like, it's not cool.
And I regret every time I've talked about something.
Exactly. And you want to know what? I'm rooting for every single person that I have ever talked about bad in the past, because you guys, nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves to feel unwanted or unheard, or a rumor starts about them, and it can definitely take a toll on people's mental health. Sorry, I talk a lot.
No, it's okay.
But like, it definitely takes a toll on people's mental health, because when I went into school and there was a new rumor about me every single day, I would just sit in class, and I was probably during my high school years when I finally decided not to gossip anymore, and I decided not to be a part of all of these things. It was the lowest part of my life, because I felt like I had nobody, because unfortunately that's all this world is. But yeah, at that time in my life, I was at a spot where I was mentally not okay, because I felt like I didn't have anybody, and I was alone 24/7. Every single class that I went to, every time that I walked through the hallway, it was me and myself and my headphones. And that being by myself and staying out of the drama actually caused, peace for me. It caused peace for me, which all that mattered, but it caused more drama, more speculation, because everyone would make up rumors and would be like, there were so many rumors speculating that, like, oh, I tried to say hi to her in the hallway and she thinks that she's better than everyone else. No, it was actually the complete opposite. I had nobody. I was alone. I had me and my headphones. And most of the time, if anyone tried to say anything to me, I had my headphones in the hallway, because again, I had no one to walk with. I looked lonely. I was all by myself. I had no friends to walk with. And but again, that was the most peaceful time in my life. Even though I was at my lowest, it caused me to grow and be where I am today. And that, I wouldn't change it for the world, because staying out of the drama, yes, I lost a lot of friends, but those friends that I distanced myself from, because all it was drama 24/7, are the reason why I have peace today, because I distanced myself from them. I didn't engage with it anymore, and it caused peace for myself. And I wouldn't change it for the world. I love where I am at today, and I love the stories that I get to share. But just know that even if you feel like you have to stay out of all of this drama and it causes loneliness, which it most likely will, it will end up in the future being the most peace and the most growth for you, and that is all that matters.
At the end of the day, the people who win are always the ones who choose growth over gossip. You were not put on this earth to care about what other people think about you, other people's opinions. So literally stay out of what other people think about you and choose yourself and choose how you're going to grow from this situation. Because gossip is literally the last thing on earth you want to care about. It is so unnecessary and literally it just tears you down for no reason.
And why do we think tearing other people down, especially for their looks, like things, physical appearance, on why they can't change, why do we think that's cute? Why do we think, what would you do if you were in that situation? Every time that you go to gossip about somebody, put yourself in their shoes. Put yourself in their shoes. Every time that you say something about somebody, think, what if somebody said something, what if somebody said that about me, and how would I feel? If you're sitting here gossiping about somebody's nose, I got all the time, everyone would talk about how big my nose is, so it caused an insecurity, a long last insecurity for me. Somebody sitting there gossiping about, let's just give me as an example how big your nose is. How would you feel if they did that to you? If you're gossiping about somebody else, how would you feel if they did that to you? Wouldn't that cause insecurity for you? Wouldn't you sit there wanting to hide your nose? Every single time that I went to laugh, I would go like this, especially because I'm insecure about my teeth, and people would talk about that too. Like, I would literally hold my face like this because I was that insecure because of what other people said about me. So imagine if somebody did that to you. Imagine how you would feel. Every time you go to say something negative about somebody, put yourself in their shoes. Say it to yourself first. If you have something negative to say about somebody, say it to yourself first.
And see how it makes you feel.
And see how it makes you feel. And if it doesn't bother you, then I think it's time that we go on a little growth journey. But everyone is perfect in their own ways, and honestly, if this world was full of people that looked and act exactly the same, it would just not be fun. Like, the fun and the perfection in this world is that everyone is different, and everyone looks different, and everyone acts different, and everyone does their makeup a different way, wears different outfits. Like, we don't all want to look and act the same. So let's stop. Let's go on a journey and stop talking negatively about things that people can't change, number one, and just overall about other people. Because what if they're just on their journey about finding their own style, and you're sitting here tearing them down, but they thought their outfit looked good this morning. Now when they walk into school, they're never going to feel great, they're never going to look great. You never want to be the reason, and you never want to be the reason someone takes their own life. There are so many cases out there that people have taken their own lives to bullying, and it is not okay. How would you feel if you had the blood of some other person on your hands? How would you feel every time you go to say something negative about somebody? That could be their last straw. You never know what anyone is going through. So think to yourself, if I say this about this person and they find out, that could be their last straw, and the blood of that person could be on your hands. And I hate bringing this up because I know that's a touchy subject, but there are too many young girls now taking their lives to bullying, and it's not okay. It's not cute, and it makes you look bad. Every time you gossip, it's because you think you're better than someone else, so you feel like you can gossip about them because you think that you have authority over that. But actually, in reality, it's vice versa. And unfortunately, that's just the truth of it. And I had to learn that. And I know that kind of sounds like the harsh truth, and it kind of sounds a little, like that sounds a little mean, but it's the hard truth. And every one of us girls have learned that. We've all mentally and physically grown, so can you guys. We've all gone through so many different things. And
I want to say that you never know people's like personal lives, and you never know what happens behind doors and when they get home from school or how they get to school. You never want to speak on anyone's personal situations, because you really never know what goes on behind doors.
If they wore the same jeans 3 times in a row, instead of gossiping about it, go up to them and ask them, hey, I have some extra clothes if you want some. Maybe that's not the situation, but find a different way to navigate the situations instead of just talking negatively about somebody. If you notice something and you feel like you have to gossip, say, actually, I was about to gossip about this person. Let me do the complete opposite. Mm-hmm. If I'm sitting here and I'm talking about Sophie and I'm like, oh, she's worn that same exact sweater 3 times in a row. What if that sweater was the only thing that she had at home? Or what if something simple as her washer and dryer just broke at home, mm-hmm. or they couldn't afford to pay their water bill at home? You never know what somebody is going through, and these are all real life problems. There were so many times when I was younger, our family had absolutely nothing growing up, and every single time that I would go to my great grandma's, she would get me a new pair of clothes, and I would be so happy. But I was always wearing the same exact clothes over and over again. Washer and dryers exist, guys. They do exist. Yes, so we are still clean, but not everybody has, financial wealth. Like, people all go through things, and you never know what it is. So if you see something about somebody's life that you don't like, mind your own business.
Yeah. Don't speak on anything that you have no idea about.
If you're not knowledgeable about the situation, then you have absolutely no right to speak about it. Just like no one else has a right to speak about you, you don't have a right to speak about anyone else negatively. Everyone is valid to their own opinions. Everyone's voice is heard, but when it comes to being a negative and unnecessary opinion, it is absolutely not valid. Like, we all have our own opinions, we're all valid, but when it comes to something negative that could cause somebody to take their own lives because you just said something that would negatively impact their mental health, no, it's not valid. It's not okay. It's not cute. It is absolutely trashy. Mm-hmm. And again, you never ever want to be the reason that somebody takes their own lives. And again, I know that's a touchy subject, but it is a real life issue. It is a real life problem that needs to be addressed, and everyone needs to start coming together and fixing these situations. And no, it starts with you. It starts with you. You can be the reason. You can be the change.
Okay, to wrap up,
I just want to say,
stay out of drama.
Stay out of drama, and it makes you more powerful.
Yep. Silence is power.
Silence is powerful. You can have your own opinions, and we're in your head. We're all human. We will all have our own opinions, but it is in your hands. It is in your hands whether you voice those opinions. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all, because if you say something negative about somebody else, imagine how you would feel. Imagine how you would feel if somebody else said it about you. Mm-hmm. Think twice before you speak. Not only twice, 3 times. And if after you thought that 3rd time you still want to say something negative, just don't say it at all. Just don't say it at all.
Don't say it.
All right, guys. There is so much more that we want to speak on, but we don't want to sit here and bore you guys to death. We definitely will probably speak on this a little more in the future and kind of go a little more in depth. But I want to just thank you guys all for watching, and thank you guys all for enjoying. If you guys ever have anything, if you guys have any bullying problems at all, reach out to one of us girls, and we will try our best to respond to every single one of you guys. Mm-hmm. We are all here for you. Your voice is valid. You are heard. You are understood, and we care about you just as much as we care about each other. And I'm Gianna.
And I'm Sophie.
And that was our episode on the Glow and Grow podcast.